Hey, this is WhyBeAre back with Kerbal Space Program, and today we're gonna try to land on the sun. I say try because, well, I'm pretty sure doing that is not possible. So we're gonna see what happens when you try to do that. And the rocket we're gonna use is gonna be a variation of the one we used previously to get to the moon, because that rocket seemed to work great to get to the moon. We gotta go all the way to the sun this time, so we're probably gonna do some modifications to it to allow it to do that. So I'm gonna start off by pulling these solid boosters off and putting them off to the side for now. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch those out for some big old fuel tanks and add another stage to the rocket, actually. And I'm sure if you were talented in flight, you could say, oh, this is actually all you need. Well, you don't even need the solid boosters or something to get to the sun, right? Yeah, well, I'm not talented. So I use my skills and say, this is what I can do. I need many, many, many more rockets to make it to the sun. And hey, and it's like, as long as I make it to the sun, I'm happy. I don't care if it's inefficient in getting there, as long as we get there successfully. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and do this. We're gonna add another stage of these. I'm trying to like make it the right height, but it's gonna be a little higher than the last one, but it shouldn't be too big of a difference. Yeah. And then we can put some rockets on these things. Put mainsail. I like mainsails. They work. Just tons of mainsails. I don't know. It's probably, probably like, this rocket over here is better. I like mainsails. They look nice. And they work. I trust the mainsails. So then, we should probably do some structural strengthening, because I'm pretty sure all this is not just going to stay like that. So we're going to go ahead and throw some strengtheners over here like that. Strengthen it up here with another strut. And maybe even go one on the inside here. That's just strengthen everything up. And you know what? Let's one more thing, just in case. If we're putting all that thrust down, it might kind of pull apart from down here, maybe. So let's do something like that too. That should keep it nice and strong, I'm pretty sure. Not exactly the prettiest of connections right there I just made, but it's not too important to be pretty. Really though, do we need a solid booster with this many rockets? Probably not. Alright, now let's do one more thing to this. I want to try to mess with the staging and stuff in a second. But first, I should do this. If I can remember where the part I'm looking for is. It's under structural, isn't it? No, it's under fuel, I think. Yeah, it's here. I'm 90% certain it is. Yes, external fuel connections. And we're going to go ahead and connect this to here. That should allow those rockets to use that fuel, and then that fuel will run out. And then we'll switch over to these ones. Hopefully everything goes according to that plan. And we can kind of stage things out a little bit differently than previously. So now we could go ahead and put back on. I guess we don't. Well, I was going to do some modifications we'll need later on, like lights and stuff. But I don't know if I should really bother. Like, I think we'll do the lights some other time. Because I might use the same rocket to go to the other planets or whatever. But I'll modify the rocket for that when the time comes. So I'm just thinking real quick. Is there anything else I'd really want? And I can't think of anything. Oh, well. There is one thing I should probably put. Let's go ahead and add that real quick. We could go ahead and put some stabilizer things on it, because those will probably be useful to make sure it doesn't just explode on the launch pad. So that will be the rocket we use. Ooh, we need little caps. That's it. We need caps. Nose cones, whatever you call it. I call it caps. There we go. Okay, that should be about everything we could possibly need. I'm hoping this will be enough to get us to the sun. We'll find out, I guess, yeah? Let's go ahead and look at the staging, make sure all that makes sense. So we want it to go, these rockets will be here. And where are those rockets? Those rockets will be here. And this is the decouplers there, so that's good. So those will pop off, then we'll keep going. Then we'll pop off everything, and we'll keep going, so that looks good. We could go ahead and combine this stage with that, so it pops off and does it all at once. Same with this one. So now it's only 4 stages. Yep, and I think it'll work, probably, hopefully. Let's go ahead and save it, and do a quick test flight and see if it works or not. Alright, let's see here. Full, maximum thrust, and launch! Okay, that went well. So I'm okay with that. Make sure the stages are right, so we'll just kind of, we're not going to try to actually get to the sun right here, we're just going to make sure the stages look okay. So we are depleting the fuel on just the outer tanks, I think, which is what I wanted to do. Because I remember long ago, that was the best way to be efficient. I don't know if it's still the case. It might be like, that is totally inefficient nowadays. I don't know. It used to be this was a good way to make things. It's probably not anymore. but it used to be good. So these outer ones should just conk out right about here. Good, and then you just drop them, and we just keep going with those, and then eventually they would just die out too. So you would just say boom, and then you would have your next stage go. That works good. Then that would eventually die out. So you would say boom, and then we got the last stage. All right, everything about that seems like it's gonna work. The question is just, do we have enough fuel to actually get us to the sun? Well, that's what we'll be figuring out, I guess, huh? Let's go and revert the flight, and let's try to do this entirely from the interior, just for some extra fun. Yeah, this is gonna go well, isn't it? How do I get to the inside? Oh, there you go. I'm hitting C and it wasn't working. I think I just had to wait for things to load up. So I need to kind of get my bearings first, figure out where everything is, and then we'll go ahead and take off. So we're just gonna, let's see, that probably doesn't do anything. Those, they say RCS on it, so okay. When you turn on the SAS or the RCS, those lights come on. Makes sense to me. Yeah, why do I need RCS? Because I don't have anything that uses that, do I? I just don't think I need it for this mission. It seems unnecessary for what we're doing, so I didn't bother to attach it. If I felt like I needed it, I would have put it on. For this, we don't need it as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, we got the nav ball as well, which will be the main thing we probably use. And you see, look at that, there's a dot over there just kind of freaking out. It's like shaking. But that's the thing we're going to probably use for like this whole thing. We're going to be staring at this thing like this, like nav ball, trying to figure things out. We got a speed meter right there. Hopefully it can do orbiting speed as well as the surface speed, because right now all it's reading is surface speed. Altitude meter that goes up to 3,000. Yeah, this isn't exactly the right cockpit to use for something like this. I'll say that now. But too late to change it now. We're going to just work with it. So that's going to be useless after the first 10 seconds or so. Don't know what that one does. Might just be a fake one, although it looks like those things would actually move, so it's hard to say for sure. Vertical speed, that might be useful. And then really, after that, we get through the 3,000 meter atmosphere part. The only thing we have to measure our height is this. That's going to be rough. Alright, how do we know, oh, right there. I was just clicking buttons trying to figure it out. I was saying, how do we know how much thrust we're doing? Right there, we got that little lever. Alright, I am a Kerbal. Kerbal's got nice shoes. Those are like nice shoes, don't you think? So I guess that's, my bearings. There's the rocket one last time. Hopefully it works. And the sun is right below us, which means, I don't know. Let's just launch. I don't know what that means. I know that means we're probably going to have to do a certain angle or something, but you know what? I'm just like, let's just launch. We'll think about it while we fly. Hopefully we can come to a conclusion before things get too bad. Either way, though, the first thing we're probably going to want to do is just put this into an orbit around the planet and see if that'll work out. So the only meter we can really look at right now is this one, which is now useless. We're at least 3,000 meters in the air. Don't know how many, just at least 3,000. So now we're gonna look at this, and I'm gonna guess once it hits the next color or next shade of blue, that is when we should probably start kind of tilting the rocket to the side to get into an orbit more than a straight up path. So it looks like it's gonna touch it real soon. So I guess we can go ahead and start looking at this thing and try to get it lined up. Just gonna go to about a 45-degree angle. That looks kind of like a 45-degree angle. There we go. Oh, this thing's wobbly. Okay. This is I should have put some more struts or something. Something out there on the rocket is making everything wobble. It's not that bad of a wobble, but there is some wobble to it, which is not good. So it's holding 45 degrees ish. So I guess I shouldn't complain, but it is wobbling a bit. I kind of want to look outside and see what was wobbling, but I said I was going to do it only from the interior. And now the question is, how do I know when to kind of let off on the throttle? I mean, I guess maybe like once you hit 1,500 meters a second, that might be... Oh, right there, it says orbit. I just saw it say orbit. I'm like staring right at it, and it says orb. That means orbit, I bet. So we're just going to kill the throttle. And now we're going to watch... We got to wait a minute. We got to get near the height, like the peak of our height. So I'm just going to... I could just watch the atmosphere meter, but I don't know exactly how well that'll work. I think the better way to do this would be watch the nav ball and see when that dot is almost at the horizon on it, basically. When it's almost at the horizon, that would mean we're probably almost at the peak of our height. So I guess we could probably try to speed things up just a little bit. Maybe like 3 times speed, yeah. maybe once it hits about 90 degrees on the nav ball, that's when we might want to do something. It's hard to know. You know, I'm just doing this all based off of guesses and knowledge of physics and science and stuff that I have, which is minimal. So, yeah. Hopefully it works. That's all I have to say. So that thing's about to touch 90, so let's go ahead and slow things down, get some thrust going, and then try to head towards it. Try to line the ship up a bit. Alright, and we could try to go ahead and let's just go full throttle and push this thing through there. And oh, it is very, very wobbly right now. Alright, once we kill that stage, it should be a lot smoother because we only have a single rocket. Alright, we gotta somehow get into an orbit, like outside of the planet. Now I'm hoping I don't just ram into the planet, wherever it is. I don't even know where the planet is right now. That's great. It's exactly what you want to hear somebody saying. I have no idea where the giant planet is that we might accidentally run into is anymore. I think it might be directly behind us. Hey, what's that over there? I don't know. I'm all looking at the stars and stuff because I never do that. Usually I'm looking at my spaceship. Now I get to look at the stars. So I'm just going to let this go for a while until I feel like... Well, I'm sure we have an orbit by now. But what we could do is we could just escape the planet, like the planet's gravity maybe. And if we can escape the gravity, then we could kind of get ourselves set up for, to do whatever we need to do next. Let's go and try to make this a little bit steeper of an angle. So if everything's going according to plan, we should pretty much be exiting the gravity of the planet right about now. And if that is the case, I should be able to let up on the throttle, so we could go ahead and just kill that off. And if we speed things up a lot, we should leave this orbit and get into a new orbit. Let's see if everything works like I say or not, huh? Hey, I can see the sun on the nav ball. Or something. It's weird. It's over there, but I can see it. So that's where I want to go. I'm just going to use gravity to get me there. So that means the planet is probably somewhere behind me over this way. Can't really point, but it's somewhere over there. Look at that. Look at that needle. I don't know what it's for. It's just going crazy right now. Is it a clock, maybe? No. Why would you have a... I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of that has that many, like, points to it. Like a second hand, a minute hand, and an hour hand is what it looks like. But I don't know what that is. So... if I remember correctly, when you leave the orbit of a planet, then you get an orbital speed compared to the sun. And if we get an orbital speed compared to the sun, that means we're in orbit of the sun. So I just gotta wait this out and see what happens, really. Keep speeding things up until, something happens. It's the easiest way to do this, I guess. Just floating along in space now, though. Kerbal's probably starving by now, considering how fast time is going. Oh, look, right there. Orbit just jumped to 9,800 meters. That means we're orbiting the sun. Okay. Now I'm thinking the easiest way to do this without having to look at the map, if we just drop the orbital speed so low that we couldn't orbit it anymore, I think that would work. So we could try doing that. Let's put a little bit of thrust on. And we want to go against that color that's right there already. That dot right there. I want to kind of orientate this thing up the right way. Alright, now we're gonna... I'm doing very little thrust right here. See, this is the part where it's like, yeah, RCS might be a little helpful, but, don't need it. Just doing a little bit of thrust, trying to get it to, Okay, you need a little more thrust. I don't have enough control over this. Man, we spiraling. I don't know why we're spiraling, but we're spiraling. Okay, yeah, RCS would have been helpful here. I admit it. Yeah, learn your lessons. I don't say nothing. I got to where I wanted it to be eventually. Now max throttle ahead. And all we're gonna do is just burn all of our fuel trying to just get where we're basically not orbiting the sun anymore, but just falling at it. That's what I'm thinking will happen, based on just what I'm thinking for physics. Really the question is just, do we have enough fuel? Because I'm 90% certain, 99% certain this should work. Like, if we get the speed low enough, there's no way we could orbit it and we'll just fall into it. Question is, can we get that speed low enough? I mean, we're still flying at 8,000 plus meters per second. We only have one stage left on this rocket, and this stage is just about gone. Good news is the next stage is really efficient, so it shouldn't be too big of a issue for that, but it will take a long time for it to run out. It'll take a long time for it to run out. Alright, next stage. So what I might do, just so you don't have to watch boring stuff, is just line this up and say it's gonna go straight for a while. And you don't have to watch it. I'll just watch it myself, and when it gets near the point where it runs out of fuel, I'll be back. So, be right back. Well, I have officially ran out of fuel. There's just no fuel left. However, I could still spin the ship like this. I don't know exactly what allows it to spin, but we could spin it and then I get dizzy and motion sick, and I shouldn't do that. Oh, why did I start spinning it? But we're out of fuel. There's nothing else we can really do to maneuver the ship aside from spinning it. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the map and see if things went according to my plans. There's the simple rocket. And there's the route that it's supposedly on, which doesn't look, well, wait. That looks like it's gonna work. That looks like it's gonna perfectly work. We're just gonna slam right into the sun. So everything went according to plan, I think. Well, yeah, I have no complaints about what happened. Everything seems to have gone according to plan. Let's go ahead and speed things up a bit and try to get us near the sun at least. How weird. Okay, everything is, like, frozen in time. But we're moving, I think. Are we moving? Okay, I can't maneuver it anymore, so whatever was allowing me to get some sort of maneuvering it earlier, it's gone. So now, literally, the only thing we can do is just float along. So again, we'll go ahead and change the camera so we can kind of see what's going on. And where is the sun? You know, it's so big, you'd think I'd have trouble losing it. Apparently, I can't even find it. Is that it? No. What? Where is the sun? Is that really it? There's no way that's it. That's the sun. How did I not see that? Whoa. That came up fast. I'm so sorry. You know, I just thought about it. A Kerbal is gonna be gone forever. All because of this idea. He'll be gone forever. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible, terrible person. I mean, he doesn't even know what's going on, but he's gonna die. I feel really bad. Like, I feel really, really bad now. That's mean. Oh well. What you gonna do? I mean, there's literally nothing I can do to save him. So, all I can do is apologize and say, I'm sorry I've done this to you. And I know we're gonna hit it eventually. We're still like 5,000... Wait, no, it's 5,000 kilometers away. We're 5,000 kilometers away, I guess. I think that's what the K stands for. I'm not good at all this metric nonsense. Well, now it's only 2,000. I'm so sorry. He looks so happy, and I'm so sorry. Can't speed it up anymore. I mean, there's no way we're not gonna hit this. Like, it's falling right at it. We're not gonna do no slingshot or nothing. We're just gonna fall and die. $220. Okay, well, look at that. Yeah, it's getting. Yeah, okay. I saw the number fall. I'm just like, look at that. It's going down. See, we were going really fast, falling at that, like 91,000 meters a second. Yeah, that's fast. And well, there we go. That's the flight to the sun. Everything went according to plan. Unfortunately, a Kerbal did die. That was the plan. I regret doing that. I'm so sorry. Looks like the cockpit exploded due to overheating. Then he died. And then it crashed into the sun. So it didn't really crash in the sun. The thing just exploded because of the heat. So we can go ahead and go back to the Space Center, and in this video right there. So I need you guys to tell me what you want to see in the next video, because I do these videos based on what you guys' suggestions are. So please leave a comment telling me what you'd be interested in seeing in the next video. And until then, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.